Привет, я Анна Мельникова. Сегодня в Москву с официальным визитом приехали Антонио Бандерас и Сальма Хайек. Они презентуют мультфильм «Кот в сапогах». Давайте заглянем и посмотрим, что же там у них происходит.
Антонио в первую очередь к Саиле. К сожалению, мы слышим «Кота в сапогах» здесь в России в дубляже. И даже в Шреке это говорят другие люди. Поэтому у меня к вам даже не вопрос, а просьба. Чтобы мы поняли ваши интонации, скажите, пожалуйста, несколько слов голосом кота в сапогах и голосом кошки. Спасибо большое.
You want me to speak like I am fluency in Russian? Because I don't know how to speak Russian. I can say, спасибо, lady. Well, what happened actually, the process of making these movies, and this may make sense to some people and not to others, but the process of making these movies is not only just the use of your voice, which is the main part, but not the only one. When we are called to design these characters, we are called also, in some cases, to San Jose, Silicon Valley. We have meetings with the creative people and the cartoonists who are going to work straight, directly on the cartoon, the manufacturing of the movie. We have conversations with our director and everybody who is involved in the creation of the movie. We give our input, we give our ideas. They ask us as an actor what do we think about very specific scenes and how we want to attack them. They take all those notes and then we receive the real script in which we're going to start working, doing the first sessions in the studio. Now, when we work in English, in the first version of the movie, we don't work with the animation in front of us. We are absolutely free to do whatever we want and just to set up the character in the way that we feel. We're even allowed to do a lot of improvisation. We are recorded by cameras while we're doing it, and sometimes I even ask for some of the elements that the character used in the movie, like the hat or a little plastic sword that I can play with. So that material later recorded is given to the cartoonist so they can take actually the little nuances, the little details that you incorporate into the character out of your face, literally out of your body language, and which makes a very interesting and freaky experience the first time that you go to the movie theater and you see some of you actually in a little pussycat. What's your experience, Sальма Хайек?
Well, I'm just getting upset because they didn't ask me as many questions and I definitely did not get a script. So I'm just making a list of complaints when I go back to America. So I didn't even get a script. I just got like situations and then we started working on the situations and doing scenes out of that. I don't know how to do it, it's very fancy to put it. And then later on, like he said, I start seeing the character once they have been recording us and designing the character a little bit in the likeness of us. But what I liked about the character is that she's very strong and she's funny and she's always challenging Puss and she's always trying to stand her ground and be smarter than her, and I think this is great, but she's not super sexy because it's the typical cliche. She is in a very special way. The typical cliche of the cat, you always think, you know, she's the cat. And Kitty Softpaws uses, you know, uses her charms and skills when it's needed, but she's a little bit of a tomboy. She's tough, and I really like this because in a lot of movies I just play like the sexy girl. It's boring.
You know that you have to think also that we do the Spanish versions too. So we add our voices to a market of around 700 million people around the world. And I do also the Italian version, and I am thinking in the possibility of doing the Russian version someday. which is going to be very difficult. And I tried, and it was very close to the Japanese one. This is serious. No, it's serious because I did some commercials in Japan, and but at the end, Jeffrey Katzenberg thought that was a very crazy idea, so I didn't do it.
Ну, мы все помним, как Арнольд Шварценеггер говорит по-русски, какие ваши доказательства. А следующий, пожалуйста, вопрос. Вот, джентльмен.
I heard you.
Придется больше не шутить.
Антон Михалюта, MTV. Вы играете кошек, котов. Скажите, а вот если вам предложили каких-нибудь других животных сыграть, какие животные вам близки, какие вам нравятся? Спасибо большое.
Wow, that's interesting. I don't know, actually. I don't know, because in my family we have a very strange relationship with animals. You know, normally mothers-in-law, they have a little doggy, and normally my mother-in-law has 72 lions. It's absolutely true. She got them in a ranch 1 hour and 25 minutes from the north of Los Angeles. She has been doing that for many years. My wife, Melanie, has been raised among lions and tigers, which says very much about our relationship. And, but I have pictures where Melanie is 14 years old and she's taking a nap, literally with 2 lions. And that scared the shit out of me, you know, when I first met her. But I don't know what animal I would like to play after Bruce. And I've been offered a dog, but they are more submissive. I like cats because they are independent and free-spirited, a little bit like me. My wife and I, we are both from August. We are both lions in the zodiac, and she's from the 9, I'm from the 10. I think I am what I should be.
I would play any animal. I love animals, all of them. I have 10 dogs, 1 cat only, 4 parrots, 2 guinea pigs, 4 dogs, 20 chickens, 5 horses, and 4 alpacas. It's true, huh? So I just love animals.
Если есть в этом зале люди, воспитанные жирафами, поднимите.
Если удастся сыграть.
That's like my father. That's so cool. It's so good. You know, my father, when Melanie came to Spain for the first time, my father thought that if he speaks very loud, she would understand him. And so he was screaming all the time. You know, we have to eat. That's so cool.
Следующий вопрос. Пожалуйста.
У меня вопрос к Антонио Бандерасу. Скажите, пожалуйста, вам как человеку, уже на экране, обращавшемуся очень умело со шпагой, пришлось ли что-нибудь советовать коту в сапогах? И вас устроили его движение на экране? Спасибо.
Из клиники Бурденко, по-моему.
Not at all. No, think about this. I arrived to the United States 21 years ago. I was 31 years already, and I'm called to do a movie in which actually I couldn't speak the language at the time, so I'm called just for the use of my language. This movie, in a way, for me is a paradox, which is great, because I never thought that I was going to do something like that. I love this character. He allows me the possibility of laughing of myself, and he allows me the possibility of laughing of the things that I have done already. Mocking characters that were in the epic side of making movies like Zorro or Desperado that I did with Sальма Hayek. And so I'm very thankful, because the first time and it was no doubt in my mind that I wanted to do this character, because actually I saw Shrek 1 in the Cannes Film Festival on competition in front of all the European intellectuality, just laughing. Now, I think the movie serves many different purposes. You can just go from movies that are made for entertaining, pure, frivolous, whatever, but you want to have that if they are done sincerely and with dignity and honesty. And you have movies that reflect about the human condition and the complexities of the human soul. And I love to do all of them. In the last 2 months, I had the opportunity to actually just put those 2 worlds together, almost interlacing them. I was presenting the Любого movie, Skin and Live In. Meanwhile, I was just doing the promotion for this one too. And I just love that possibility. It's just having, as an actor, you know, feel the possibility of feeling these two different worlds. I cannot ask a guy who has been just putting bricks the whole entire week or just fixing a road to go on the weekend with his girlfriend to see 8.5 by Federico Fellini, because maybe they would have watched The Mask of Zorro and just have fun and just have some popcorns in a bucket and eat. But there must be some other movies also for other audiences. I just like to play all of those worlds, and I'm very happy with this guy over here. I love him. I think he loves me too.
Пожалуйста, да, следующий.
Добрый день. Сальчиков Михаил, журналист из Санкт-Петербурга. Мы все помним, что первый визит в Россию у Антонио был именно в Петербург год назад. Спасибо вам за это. Приглашаем Сальму тоже к нам в город. А вопрос мой такой. Вот и вы сами, и ваши герои очень, так сказать, ценят тонкое чувство юмора. Но мы знаем, что юмор может быть разный. Юмор может быть и высоким, и тонким, и грубым, и площадным. Вот какой характер юмора вам самим близок, и как он выразился в ваших героях? Спасибо.
Do you want to answer that, or should I go?
You can start.
Okay. All right. For me, the big decision at the beginning of the process of making this character was the first time I recorded his voice, because we didn't talk. I mean, they showed me some of the pictures of the character, but we didn't record it. We didn't talk about what type of voice we should provide the character with. So then when I saw the size of the character, I thought, well, maybe he should have a very thin voice like this, and just try to make a character that speaks like this. But we said, no, hold on. Let's just go in the opposite direction. Let's just go and provide him with a very suave voice. And he speaks like this. Because then he established a contrast. A contrast in what he is visually, very little kitty cat, and where he feels he is inside. And in that contrast you find humor. I think that was a great decision when we made that choice, just to go over there. And then establish also the rhythm in which we want to just portray, you know. And so that's actually the little choices that you can have in a movie that is not a traditional movie, that is a movie that actually is done by a team. Movies in general is the work of a team. But in this particular case, and it would be stupid for us to just don't say that, is teamwork. Very strongly. But you have your choices and you have your opportunities. What was that?
Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see.
Ну что, премьера мультфильма «Кот в сапогах» состоится только через месяц, но Москва инструктору советует забить места в зрительных залах уже сегодня.
Все отдам за сапожки.